say what will be the long-term effects of the COVID situation, because obviously there's several of the markets which we work in are very severely affected immediately. But I think it's difficult to say which effects are structural and which ones are going to be long-standing. It's clear that there were already trends towards things like home working, which I think have been accelerated, and I think that will definitely continue. And I think there'll be a question about how we use office spaces. I think offices, instead of places that you go to do work in, are going to be places where you go to collaborate, meet, and work with your colleagues, basically to get closer to the core values of companies and their philosophies, rather than the place that you actually do the work. Many companies have accepted that home office can work, and that people can be relied on to independently work at home and deliver. I think previously in the Czech market, I think there was skepticism amongst management. So that has a big implication, I think, on the take-up of office space going forward into the future. It also has implications on the residential market and how we design people's living spaces. Because if home office or working from home is here to stay, then it's clear that there are major issues with many people's accommodation currently. We can see that if people have the choice now between buying an apartment which is kind of quite small and hasn't got that much space for home working, then they're going to prefer maybe something bigger, and they can't really do that price-wise in the centre of town. So there's going to be further movement, I think, towards the suburbs. Yeah, so people will if they can buy a house for the same price as they can an apartment, and it has a garden. This is a great advantage just now, because if you are spending a lot of your time in one place, if you're living and working in the same environment, you need to be able to get out, you need to be able to go into nature, you need to move around. Yeah, it's because you're not now traveling to the office, and you're not now changing your space so frequently. When COVID first struck, it was a major challenge, to put it very mildly. We spent several weeks trying to work out what was going to happen. Most of us shifted to home office working, but we weren't prepared for this, so that was quite difficult, and the systems we have didn't really work very well, so it wasn't the most productive situation. We also, basically, unfortunately, we were not able to retain all our staff because of the hotel sector, which is an area where we do a lot of work in. Basically, it stopped completely from day one. And some of the big projects we were working on basically have not continued to this day. I think everyone knows that the hotel sector, hospitality generally, is the most affected in the first instance. Obviously, things now are changing again for the worse, as we see the number of COVID cases going up very quickly, and very rapid changes required by everybody. We kind of anticipated something like this might happen, so we actually developed much better systems for home office. So we got used to them, and we learned from the bad experiences we had in let's say the first wave, and now we're in the second wave, and we know it might last for several months. So I think we're in a better position to continue working. Architecture obviously is a very collaborative process. It's much better for us still to sometimes all come together and work around a table. It's really difficult to do that, but we are trying to as regularly as possible get together. Not all of us, but some of us with masks or whatever, so that we can coordinate projects and they can move forward, and then we can give work to people who are remotely working. We were heavily involved in in hotel projects, nearly all of those have basically stopped. Luckily we continue to do residential projects which tend to be on a much longer time frame because of the permitting situation which takes so long. We were lucky enough recently to win a quite large competition in Prague free with a client for I think 25,000 square meters of residential, and that will just now start, so that's really handy for us to take team members to continue on that from other projects. We continue to work on large residential projects in Prague 10, the Hagib or Republic site for the developer Crystal, where we're doing some very interesting, I think, large-scale residential projects. We've just finished a concept design for a school, international school. Not sure if that's going to proceed much further, but that was actually, it's interesting for us because we're very keen to widen the scope of our work beyond residential currently, so it's good to have another sector that we're working in. And then we're doing some smaller residential schemes for quite a lot of Czech developers. So you can see that it's basically mostly residential, which is keeping us going just now. So and obviously Prague, the Czech Republic, there has been a long-term shortage of residential. So we can see that, you know, over the next few years, that hopefully that is an area which we'll be able to continue to work in.